Are you experiencing knee pain but still want to work out? This is the routine for you. I'm Dan with Kick@55 Fitness. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click push notifications to stay up to date with all our current workouts. All right guys, so the equipment you will need today are some bands and a stepper. We're gonna get you guys warmed up today. The first thing we wanna focus on is getting our glutes fired correctly. So we're gonna have you lay on your side. I call this straight leg raise into abduction, which is a side kick. What you're gonna do is go up and a little bit back at a 45-degree angle. We're gonna go for 30 seconds, 15 seconds each side. Ready? Go. Good. Up and back. So the big thing with this one is you wanna feel it firing right here on your glute, right on the outside of the glute. There are 3 different glute muscles. You have to know that the glute medius is the one for our hip posture and to prevent knee pain. That's the main one we really wanna focus on. Good. Let's switch to the other side so you get the hang of it. So my legs are straight, my hips are straight, and I'm going up and back. If I feel it in my glute, I'm doing it right. However, what I tend to see is people want to go up and forward and they're shortening that angle, they're going to get the wrong muscle and cause more hip pain actually. Good. So up and back. Very nice. Keep the knee straight, the toe is pointed towards you. Excellent. Good. Now, go ahead, take some bands. We're going to do something called clam shells. Going to put these around your knees. Whichever resistance you feel is necessary. You're gonna lay on your side. Knees are bent, feet together. You're gonna pick your knee off the other knee while keeping the feet together. This is going to strengthen our hip external rotators, which will help keep us in good alignment. One of the biggest things I've seen with knee pain is poor patterns. The knees buckle in, the knees go in front of the toes, the feet collapse. And we gotta keep our glutes as strong as possible. Switch, good. 15 seconds on this side, good. Now you can do this laying on your back too, but you're not fighting gravity as much, so that makes it a little bit easier. We call those oysters instead. Good. 3, 2, 1. You're gonna keep that band on, stand up for me. We're gonna put the band around our ankles, and we're gonna do something called crab walks, again, strengthening the outside of our glutes. Weight is on our heels, knees are soft. You're gonna step, you're gonna slowly bring it together, but you still want tension on the band. You're gonna start feeling that fired up. Good, let's go for 30 seconds. Good. Now you don't want to look down because then your butt is going to stick out. We want to look up. We want to keep our pelvis nice and tucked. We want to keep our weight on our heels. Good. You guys got the hang of this. Very nice. These are a staple of all knee rehabs. Good. 5 more seconds. And then we're going to go into the monster walk, which is more for the external rotators. Good. So now with monster walks, you're going in to out. In, out, knee in line with my toe and hip. In, out, and then you go back. In, out, in, out. So when we go forward, it's the rotators. When we go back, it's our glute. Good. And this one going back into extension is glute maximus. Good. Excellent job, guys. You got 10 seconds. Then we'll go into our second round of these exercises. Not a typical HIIT workout today, but we are helping get you strong. Good. Let's take that band off. You can put it to the side. We go back to those straight leg raises. So right here, remember, hip is behind. We want it almost like an obtuse angle. You don't want to be all shortened up. Good. If you want to make it a little harder, you can turn your foot down a little bit. That'll make it a little tougher. Good. Doing great, guys. These get tiring quick. This muscle is not typically used to being fired. So you got to build from scratch. Go to the other side. Good. Here, up and back. I'm always going behind my hip with my foot. That's how I know I'm feeling it right. Right here in the butt. Good. 7 seconds. Then we go back to those clam shells. Notice how my knee is straight. 2, 1. Excellent. Go ahead, get that band. Put them around your knees again. You guys are doing great so far. All right. Now, turn on your side. Feet together. Lift that knee off the other knee. Good. Well done, guys. Go for 15 seconds and then we'll switch to the other side. And you should start feeling a little fired up at this point, especially if you're not used to working these muscles out. However, I have noticed over 10 years of being a therapist, the stronger your hips are, the less knee pain you're going to have. It's almost that simple. Switch. Good. Now pick it up. Good. Up. With bands, it's very important that we control the eccentric, the way down, right? Do not let the band control you. We need to build eccentric strength. Good. You're doing great, guys. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Up on your feet again. Now, if it's hard around your ankles, you can keep it around your knees. It just makes it a little easier as you do your crab walks. So I like to have it, think physics-wise, lever, the longer the lever arm, the harder it is. Good. Weight on your heels. Try not to look down. 30 seconds. I'm always keeping a little tension on the band. I'm never bringing my feet together like that. Good. You can think like basketball, like a defensive stance. That works too. Good. Doing great, guys. Let's do another 5 seconds. We go back to those monsters. 3, 2, 1. Good. Now in to out. External rotator. Knee stability. Glute. And then glute. Good. There are other ways to do this type of exercise. You can pretend like you're walking on a railroad track. We could talk about that in another video. You guys are doing great. 10 more seconds. Forward, forward. Same thing. You never want to look down because then your butt's going to be out. You're going to lose your good form. Looking up, core strong. And back, back. Good job, guys. That's our warm-up. Well done. All right, guys. So in our first circuit, we're going to start with strengthening our glutes and our quads. We're going to do some step-ups. What I've seen with most people when they step, they want to push through their toe, the ball of their toe, and their knee goes in front. That's going to cause anterior knee pain. I want you instead to put your full foot on, push through your heel, and squeeze your glute. At the top, also going to squeeze that quad. That's that terminal knee extension. So you're going to go up. You can bring the other leg up as well. There's a balance drill, and then slow and controlled down. Everything's about slow and controlled eccentrics with knee pain. Good. Up, down. You guys got this. I'm pushing right through that heel. Now I'm balancing, getting all the little intrinsic muscles. Good. 5 more seconds, and then we'll switch. Excellent job, guys. You got it. 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's go to the other side. And you're going to push right through that heel. Totally straighten that knee. Good. You don't want a soft knee in this situation. We really want to strengthen that quad. You don't have to bring the other hip up. You can just step. But if you know me, you know I like balance drills. Good. 5 seconds. Then we're going to go to our heel taps next. 3, 2, 1. So now with the heel tap, you're going to start up on the stair. Your opposite foot is pointed at the ceiling. You're going to have good alignment. I'm going down, knee in line with my second toe, tap, come back up. Slow and controlled tap up. Good. Now this is less about strength and more about neuromuscular control. What you'll probably find with knee pain is it hurts to go downstairs because you don't have the good control. You should have perfect control at all points, at all angles in your knee. That's the goal. Down, see how my knee's in line with my toe, right? My hip's not popping out like this. It's underneath me. Tap, up. Slow control, right into the concentric. Slow eccentric, push up. Good. 5 seconds. Good. We're going to do 3 sets of these. Excellent. 3, 2, 1. Good. All right. Let's go back to those step ups again. Remember, push off that heel, bring that other hip up, squeeze here, squeeze there. Good. Nice. Slow down. Good. Up. Bring it up. And control it down. You guys got it. Up. Boom. Good. 5 seconds. Up. And switch. Good. Boom. Balance drill. Glutes. Quads. We'll talk about hamstrings later. Good. Remember, with rehab, it's important to strengthen and stretch all the surrounding muscles. Hips, ankles, knees, everything. They all move together. Good. 5 seconds. We'll go back to those heel taps. Up. Hold it. Control it down. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we'll start with those heel taps. Remember, foot that's off the step is pointed at the ceiling, so the first thing that touches is our heel. Tap, up. Notice how my knee is in good alignment. What you're going to find is it wants to buckle. That's that weak glute we talked about earlier. Boom. Down, up. My knee's going to go about in line with my toe. 5 seconds, and then we switch. 2, 1, switch. Good. The reason I like these so much is because it is what leads you to be able to doing a full leg, single leg pistol squat. This is how you build it up. And if you want to go deeper and deeper, just increase the step height. Good. Control. There's no giving, right? It doesn't give out. 3, 2, 1. Good. Third set. Step up. Push through that heel. Squeeze the quad and glute. Bring the other one up. Balance. Slow and controlled on the way down. You guys got this. Well done. If you're feeling like this is easy, you can always add dumbbells or weights to make it a little bit harder for yourself. And you want to think hypertrophy. You want to think of at least 20 to 30 reps. Good. And switch. Up at the left. Boom. Squeeze. Balance. Down. Good. You guys got this. Doing great. Push through that heel. Up. Hold. Down. Control. Good. 5 seconds. We go back to those heel taps. 3, 2, 1. Good. Back to those taps. Now, the way that you know if an exercise is neuromuscular versus muscular, the more you do with neuromuscular, the easier it gets. When it's muscle strength, the more you do, the more tired you get. So that's the difference, how you're able to tell. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And even me, someone who's been doing knee rehab for 10 years, I'm not perfect at it either. My knees will buckle if I get tired. Still got to focus and have good awareness of your patterns. That's really the main thing we're looking for. Good. Also, if you have flat feet, you're going to want to tend to buckle in more. So we can talk about feet strengthening another day. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, guys. Well done. All right, guys. So the next part we're going to have you kneeling. Now, if you do have a lot of knee pain, this may be difficult, so maybe put a pad underneath you. You're going to sit back on your heels. What we're going to do is called kneeling hip extension. You're going to squeeze your glutes and hip thrust forward and tighten. You should be tight in your core and in your glutes. Down, up. Nice, slow, and controlled. Good. This will really help strengthen those glutes. Good alignment. Excellent job. We're going to go for 10 more seconds. Up, squeeze, core's tight. You want a little bit more of a core exercise, you can lean back a little bit. Makes it a little tougher. Good. Squeeze those glutes. 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to go to simple bridges. You're going to lay on your back. Here's the trick with bridges. Most people are overactive hamstrings and weak glutes. So you want to tighten your glutes first before you lift and then come down. 30 seconds. Go. Good. You also want to keep your back flat against the floor. This will save you from having back pain later on in life. Good. And you're really hip thrusting forward, squeezing those glutes at the end range. Good. Doing great, guys. Squeeze. Notice if I don't squeeze my glutes first and I just go up, it's all hamstring activity, it's not glute. We got to get the glutes fired, then lift, and that will minimize hamstrings. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. Go back to those kneeling extensions. Sit back on the heels. Good. Forward, squeeze, core tight. Excellent. Down. Slow and controlled. Up. Down. So what this is also doing is giving you knee range of motion because this is full flexion. Remember, it's important to be able to have the joint go through its entire range of motion. If you're lacking range of motion due to a certain reason, swelling, scar tissue, that could cause you some pain too. Good. Good. Let's do 10 more seconds. And a good way to get knee range of motion, especially flexion, is to just simply sit on your heels like this and see how long you can handle that. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go back to those bridges. Again, remember, squeeze the glutes first. That activates my glute first. The hamstrings and the glutes do the same movement, which is hip extension. But the question is, which one is primary and which one is secondary? If your hamstrings are dominant, it's because your core and your glute is weak. So we got to reverse those bad patterns that you've built. And that just comes from sitting all day long. That's very normal. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Back to those extensions. Oh, actually, that was all we got. Okay, guys, so first, before we start our next circuit, go ahead, grab yourself a dumbbell or a book, something that can raise your heel for when we do our single leg pistol squat. For now, go ahead, get your band. We're going to just do regular banded squats. You're going to put them right around your knees. As we talked about earlier, when we have a band around our knees, it's going to want to pull our knees in. We got to fire our glutes to keep that good alignment. We're going to keep our back nice and tall. We're going to go for 30 seconds, just regular old squats. Ready? Go. Down. Squeeze through your glutes, hip thrust forward. Good. Notice how my knees are not buckling. That's why we put the bands around it, so it gives us that neuromuscular feedback that we know we need to fire. Good. Down, squeeze up. Notice how my Knees are not in front of my toes. A lot of people want to go down with their first motion. I want you to think sit back in a chair so my weight is displaced through my heels. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. So you're going to get that raised surface. Again, a book, a dumbbell, anything you can think of. You're going to put your heel right up on it. Now, I like to do my full pistol squats. For you guys today, we're just going to go to the tap part. So put the other foot forward. You're just going to bend into that knee, tap, and then come up. So there's your pistol squat. And eventually, we'll get you going all the way down and all the way up. That may not be there for you just yet. That took me years and years of practice. For now, just tap, reach out, come back up. Let's go 10 more seconds. Boom. This is going to help build the kneecap tendon strength. That's what we're looking for. Good. And switch. Put your foot up on there. Come on out. And again, we talked about those heel taps, that neuromuscular control. That's what leads you to that full pistol squat. But that's going to take us some time and some practice. Good. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Next, we're going to do some calf raises. We got to keep our calves nice and strong because those connect right past our knee. So stay on your big toe, up. Good. We're going 30 seconds. Good. Up. Good. You guys got this. Stay on the big toe, squeeze at the top. There are 2 different calf muscles. The big meaty one gets strengthened when our knees are straight. The one down here that goes into the Achilles tendon gets strengthened when our knees stay bent and we do a calf raise. So it's good to do both. For now, we'll just stick with the knees straight. Good. Let's do 5 more seconds. 5, 4. Good job, guys. Doing great. 2. Hold. Good. Excellent. All right. Round 2. Get that band. Put it around your knees. Yeah, you can put it above the knees. I just think it makes it a little easier. So I like a little bit below. Spread those knees out. See how the band pulls you in. I got a fire in my glutes, those rotators. 30 seconds. Go. Good job, guys. Well done. Nice, good form. My back is straight. I'm not bending over. Good. I'm pushing through my glutes at the top. My heels are where all the weight is. Good. I want you to think, sit back in the chair. Good. You want to make it harder? Hold a stick overhead. That'll show you exactly where your form is bad. Good. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Go ahead, take that band off. Go back to our pistol squats. 30 seconds. Whoop. Ready? We'll go 15 seconds each side. Ready? Go. Tap. Squeeze that quad. Tap. So this is going to be more quad than glute because our heel is raised. All about that neuromuscular control. Again, you go at your own pace. How far can I go? The goal is that at any angle, I'm in control. That's what builds real neuromuscular strength. Good. Switch. Good. So there's no giving in my knee. Slow and controlled. Tap. And the further you want to go, as long as you're in control, you won't hurt yourself. Good. So 10 seconds. 9. And then you get to the full eventually. Down, all the way up. You guys will get there. 3, 2, 1. Good. Back to calf raises. 30 seconds. Ready? Go. Up. Down. Squeeze. Down. If you want to make this harder, do it on a step so you can get a little calf stretch in between and get through your full range of motion. Right here, we're only going about partial. Good. 15 seconds. Squeeze. Up. Hold. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Get those bands. Excellent job so far, guys. Last round for this one. Then we go to our stretches. I'm going to put it right around those, underneath the knee joint. Spread those feet, a little wider than shoulder width apart. 30 seconds. Go. Good. Now, when the fatigue starts to kick in, you'll notice you're going to get tired. Your knees are going to want to buckle. Your feet are going to flatten out. That's why it's very important, even when you're tired, to work on your form. Form is always more important than quantity. Always think quality over quantity with rehab. Good. 10 seconds. Good. 2, 1. Good. Go to those pistol squats. Excellent job so far, guys. You guys are doing really, really great today. All right. Again, like we said, not as hard as a typical workout, but this is just to help you with your knee pain. Let's go, 15 seconds, go. Tap, up. Like we talked about with neuromuscular, the more you do, the easier it gets. So you shouldn't be that fatigued, and you should start finding more confidence in your control. 2, 1, switch. Good. Good. Now the reason we elevate our heel is mostly because most people lack the ability to pick their foot up high enough to be able to keep that control. So it's a little bit of a cheat code. And good, back to those calf raises, all the way up, all the way down. Nobody likes to do calf raises, myself included. However, they are super important because the calf muscles connect right next to the hamstrings over the knee. Good. Remember, it's important to strengthen above and below. Good. Let's go 10 seconds. Also, you'll notice with fatigue, you're going to want to go out to the pinky toes. That's how you know you're getting tired. Be mindful of that. Stay on the big toe. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, guys. Well done. All right, guys. So we finished the exercise resistance part of it. Now, remember, it's rehab exercises, so we got to stretch at the end. Static stretching is good at the end of performance. We're going to start with our calf. Go into this lunge position. We call it a runner's stretch. Straighten that back knee out, put the heel on the ground, and lean over that front foot. You're going to feel that right behind the knee. Hold for 15, and then we'll switch. Good. Now you're looking at good alignment, right? My feet are facing forward. My hips are right in a line. Good. 3, 2, 1, and then switch. Now I happen to have tight calves. That comes from a previous knee injury. So it's very, very important for me to stretch, and I'm guaranteeing it's probably important for you guys to stretch too. Good, you're gonna hold. You want more of a stretch, bend more into that front knee. Good, 10 seconds. Next we'll go to a hamstring stretch. There's thousands of them. I'll just show you one of many that I like. So we're gonna do the seated sit and reach. You're just gonna sit here, hold, 30 seconds. Now, you should be able, ideally, to touch your toes. If you're feeling like that's very tough, we got some work to do, and it may not just be in the hamstrings, it may be in our hips as well. A lot of the times, like we talked about earlier, you have overactive hamstrings. So that means we got to work on our hip flexors instead. You could also do it like a hurdler stretch, one at a time. For time purposes, we'll do 2 legs at a time. Good. Let's do another 10 seconds. Now, you don't want your knees locked. You want a little bit soft at the knee. That way you're not straining too much. And if you can't go to the toes, just hold it wherever you're comfortable. That's fine. Good. Okay, excellent. Next, we're going to do a lunge stretch. Get that hip flexor working. This one will really help with our bad posture. We're 90 degrees, and then we're straight here. We're going to lean forward. You're going to feel that right here in the front. Now, our hip flexors are notoriously tight from sitting all day. So it's important not just to stretch them, but also to strengthen them. May seem a little counterintuitive because they're typically shortened, but when they're always shortened, they're going to get weak. So we got to strengthen and lengthen at the same time. Good. Switch. Notice how everything with me is about form. Angles, keeping our pelvis tucked. There's so much intrinsic and difficult things that come to rehab, so we're just simplifying it for you today. And we can go in depth a little longer at a different talk. Good. And then next, we're just going to do the standing quad stretch. You take your quad, pull it right to your butt, keep your knee underneath your hip. Good. And again, full range of motion in the knee. Now, it will not work as well if my knee's in front of my hip. I got to be back because one of the hip flexor muscles is also a quad muscle. So they go hand in hand. Good. And then switch. Good. Now, what I don't want to see is out here. Underneath, right next to the other knee, back straight, hip back. You're going to feel that all throughout the quad. And depending on where your tightness is, you may feel it in a different spot. Maybe in the knee, maybe in the hip, maybe in the middle of the quad. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now with stretching, you always want to go back to that calf stretch. You always want to do minimum 8-second stretch. The reason is very, very technical. I won't go and bore you guys with it, but that's what makes the muscle relax. You need to hold it for at least 8 seconds. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you want to typically think about 20 to 30 seconds for each stretch. There are different types of yoga where you're stretching for 5 minutes at a time. There's some good research behind that. It's a little difficult for me personally, but if it's what you're into, then go for it. But if you're doing that much flexibility work, you got to do a lot of stability work. So that's going to be very important too. Now with this calf stretch, you may also get it in the hip flexor. So it kind of gets both. Good. Next, we're going to go to that hamstring stretch. Okay, so sit and back nice and tall, reach with your belly button. All right, this is the furthest you can go, no big deal. All right, typically people who have a lot of muscle and are very strong are not as flexible. That's just common. But it's very, very important to do both. Good. Hold. Try to keep your back tall if you can and lean through your hips. For me, hamstrings are always the tightest and worst. So typically it's something I like to stay away from because it's difficult. But that's no excuse. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Go back to that lunge stretch next. We're here, starting your good angles, 90-90, and then you lean forward. But you don't want to lean back in your spine because we're not trying to close that spine off. We're trying to tuck our pelvis. Good. You can feel that right here. The hip flexors connect to the spine, and if they're very tight, they're going to pull our spine inwards and down. That'll give us too much of a curve in our low back. We don't want that. Good. And switch. 15 seconds. Notice how I'm in proper alignment. My hips are underneath me. My knees are underneath me. My feet are straight. Good. So you notice how I lean forward, it increases that curve in the back. If I come back and then I tuck my pelvis, I'll get the same stretch. And I don't have to go as far. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. We'll finish up with that quad stretch again. What I also like about this quad stretch is it's a balance drill too. If you guys have been following me for a while now, you know balance is super important. It builds all those little intrinsic muscles and it builds neuromuscular control. It works on a nerve called our proprioceptive nerves that allows us to know where our body is in space. Good. And switch. Hold. Remember, don't let the knee go forward because now we're not getting a good stretch. Back. And if this is too difficult, you can put your foot up on a chair or on a table. The big thing is we want the hip back. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job today, guys. You crushed it. Stay tuned for our next video. You can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on push notifications so you know when our next workout posts.